Hi everyone, and welcome to the last week of the Managing for Sustainability course. I hope you've enjoyed the experience. I hope that you've maybe consolidated knowledge about sustainability or indeed learnt a bit more. Now your assessments are done, I hope you dip into this final week because it's a really fascinating week. We're focusing on ethical and sustainable investment and finance. We know that money makes the world go round, and sometimes decisions about where to invest are perhaps a little dodgy. And so there is a big discussion in the global community, from the UN to the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. And there's been a great deal of success in talking to the finance sector about how investments can be made more transparent, robust and ethical. And equally, from a product perspective, and there is a booming market in ethical and sustainable investments. Mums and dads, people like you and I, are looking to put their money where their mouth is, to invest in causes and companies that they believe in, and to avoid investing in companies or industries that they may not approve of. These may be the sin industries of gambling and alcohol and armaments and pornography, or there may be other industries. But whatever it is, the market for finance and investment and the market for ethical and sustainable finance and investment is absolutely booming. So we're going to touch upon sustainable investment. We're going to look at how sustainability can be measured and quantified. We'll look at sustainable impact, risks and returns, and we'll have a quick look at socially responsible investment. As always, the text. I've also given you a reference to the website for the Responsible Investment Association of Australia, which is a rapidly growing organisation facilitating sustainable and responsible investment. There are currently $152 billion of funds in Australia alone under management that are focused on sustainable investment. So almost 20% of total funds under management. And that number is way larger offshore in the US, the UK, France, Germany, Scandinavia. And a quirky little article as well on how ethical investment is taking a spiritual turn. People who have a strong spiritual, religious belief can align their investments with their religious beliefs. And of course, this is nothing new. In the context of Islam and Sharia finance, this alignment of beliefs and investment direction is very common indeed. And I teach up in Malaysia, and we talk a lot about Sharia finance and sustainable investment in that context. So look, very, very quickly, as this is the final week, you'll watch and reflect, looks a little at the industry in Australia and gets you to think about that, to look at the overall framework for responsible investment, which is the United Nations Principle for Responsible Investment. So have a look at their website. There's an example of socially responsible investing from Standard Life, big global bank, and this is the Canadian arm. There's a little video explaining what socially responsible investment is, and then there's a slightly tongue-in-cheek video from the Australian Youth Climate Coalition trying to encourage people to divest in their fossil fuel interests, to campaign against carbon reduction and to slow climate change. So again, I get you to think about those sorts of industries. The case study is in the text and looks at Babcock and Brown and post responses to those questions. And really that's about it for the week and indeed for the course. So a real summary of ethical investment and responsible, sustainable finance. Look, I hope you've enjoyed your experience with Managing for Sustainability. This is a foundation module. It's really an introduction, and we hope to extend our offerings across sustainability and across other subjects in the coming months and years. But I hope you found it challenging and informative. The issue of sustainability is not going to go away, whether it's environmental or social or indeed financial. Issues of sustainability are going to predominate and going to strongly influence corporate behaviour over the next 5, 10, 20 years. And despite the intervention or lack of the politicians, there are going to be a number of things happening where we will have fairly limited control and have massive impacts on business. Water in Australia is an obvious one, and hence food and energy will be impacted. Urbanisation will continue to be a big issue in the Asia-Pacific region. And of course, warming, hot summers, all of these things will have a massive impact on us as global communities and on businesses. So look, thank you for your interest and engagement. I hope you've enjoyed the course, and I hope to see you again on a sustainability program in the not too distant future. Thanks a lot.